Hello and welcome to Disha's official YouTube channel. This is Ruchi presenting daily news analysis. Cyber Capabilities and National Power Report IISS. According to a report by International Institute for Strategic Studies IISS, an influential think tank, India's offensive cyber capability is Pakistan focused and regionally effective and not tuned towards China. The countries covered in this report are US, United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia, four of the Five Eyes intelligence allies, France, Israel, and Japan, the three cyber capable partners of the Five Eyes state. China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea posing cyber threats to the Western interest, and India, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Vietnam, four countries at the earliest stages in their cyber power development. The countries are assessed in 7 categories such as strategy and doctrine, governance, command and control, core cyber intelligence capability, cyber empowerment and dependence, etc. The report has divided the 15 states into 3 tiers of the cyber power. The US is the only country in the first tier for its world-leading strengths across all categories. In the second tier, with world-leading strengths in some categories are Australia, Canada, China, France, Israel, Russia, and United Kingdom. India, Japan, Iran, Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, and North Korea have been put in the third tier meant for countries that have strengths or potential strengths in some of these countries but significant weakness in the others. This report confirms that for at least next 10 years, US could maintain its authority in the digital industries. India-specific observations. India has made only modest progress in developing its policy and doctrine for cyberspace security. The vital coordinating authorities for cybersecurity in the civil and military domains have been established only as late as 2018 and 2019 respectively. These authorities work closely with the National Technical Research Organization. India has some cyber intelligence and offensive cyber capabilities, but they are regionally focused primarily on Pakistan. India is currently aiming to compensate for its weakness by building new capability with the help of key international partners including the US, UK, and France, and by looking to concentrated international action to develop norms of restraint. The strengths of the Indian digital economy include a vibrant startup culture and a very large talent pool. According to the report, India tries to make productive, practical arrangements with the key states. National Technical Research Organization NTRO is under the National Security Advisory in the Prime Minister's office and focuses on intelligence gathering. The agency specializes in multiple disciplines which include remote sensing, data gathering and processing, cybersecurity, geospatial information gathering, cryptology, strategic hardware and software development, and strategic monitoring. As future course of action, India as third tier cyber power has the best chance of progressing to the second tier by harnessing its great digital industrial potential and adopting a whole of society approach to improving its cyber security. US Digital Millennium Copyright Act. Recently, the Union Minister for Electronics and Information Technology was locked out of his Twitter account for an hour allegedly over a notice received for violation of the US Digital Millennium Copyright Act, that is DMCA 1998. Digital Millennium Copyright Act. It is a law passed in the US and is among the world's first laws recognizing intellectual property on the Internet. The DMCA oversees the implementation of two 1996 treaties signed by the World Intellectual Property Organization, that is WIPO member nations. The DMCA allows for content creators to get user-uploaded material that infringes their copyrights be taken down off websites after providing a valid and legal DMCA takedown notice. Intellectual property is a category of property that includes intangible creations of the human intellect and primarily encompasses copyrights, patents, and trademarks along with trade secrets, publicity rights, moral rights, and rights against unfair competition. WIPO treaties including the WIPO Copyright Treaty and WIPO Performances and Phonograms Treaty. It requires member nations and signatories to provide in their respective jurisdiction protection to the IP that may have been created by the citizens of different nations. It compels the signatories to the treaty ensure ways to prevent circumvention of the technical measures used to protect copyrighted work. There are also provisions for the necessary international legal protection to digital content. World Intellectual Property Organization. It was created in 1967 to encourage creative activity to promote the protection of IP throughout the world. It currently administers 26 international treaties like Budapest Treaty, Paris Convention, Berne Convention, and the Washington Treaty among others. As of date, 193 nations across the world, including India, are members of WIPO. Its major purposes are acting as a policy forum to shape balanced international IP rules for a changing world, providing global services to protect IP across borders and to resolve disputes, technical infrastructure to connect IP systems and share knowledge, cooperation and capacity building programs to enable all countries to use IP for economic, social and cultural development, a world reference source for IP information. Some of the Indian laws which cover intellectual property are Trademarks Act 1999, Patents Act 1970 which was amended in 2005, Copyright Act 1957, Geographical Indication of Goods Registration and Protection Act 1999, Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act 2001, Information Technology Act 2000. Indian initiatives shaping energy transition. Recently, the Minister of State for New and Renewable Energy launched the Indian Story Booklet, a compilation of India's initiatives that are shaping India's energy transition. The booklet was launched at the event on Accelerating Citizen-Centric Energy Transition organized by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, that is MNRE. The minister also launched a website which will act as a repository of the energy transition related knowledge resources from around the world. Growth of renewable sector. In the last 6 years, India's installed renewable energy, that is RE capacity, has increased by over 2.5 times and stands at 37% of the country's total capacity, becoming the 4th largest in the world. The installed solar energy capacity has increased by over 15 times. Ease of investment in renewables. During the last 7 years, over USD 70 billion investment has been made in renewable in India. India has a very liberal foreign investment policy for renewables, allowing 100% foreign direct investment, that is FDI, through the automatic route in the sector. Established dedicated project development cells, that is PDC, and FDI cells in all ministries for hand-holding and facilitating the domestic and foreign investors. Renewable Energy Investment Promotion and Facilitation Board portal has been developed to provide one-stop assistance and facilitation to the industry and investors for development of projects and bringing new investments to the RE sector in India. Initiatives to increase investment in renewables. Viability gap funding options for offshore wind energy. Green Term Ahead Market and Green Day Ahead Market, rules for facilitating RE through open access and RE procurement through exchanges to promote non-conventional resources of energy. Industry's commitment. Several members from the industry have voluntarily declared RE goals and committed to the Carbon Disclosure Project, that is CDP, Renewable Energy 100%, that is RE100, and Science-Based Targets, that is SBTs. CDP is a global disclosure system that enables companies, cities, states, and regions to measure and manage their environmental impacts. SBTs are greenhouse gas reduction goals set by businesses. Green tariff. Rules are being framed for a green tariff policy that will help electricity distribution companies supply electricity generated from the clean energy projects at a cheaper rate as compared to power from conventional fuel resources. Government is also promoting green hydrogen with obligations for fertilizers and redefining industry. International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. Recently, the Minister for Social Justice and Empowerment launched the website for the Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, that is NMBA, on the occasion of the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. Recently, the Minister for Social Justice and Empowerment launched the website for Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, that is NMBA, on the occasion of International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, which was on 26th of June. In order to strengthen action and cooperation in achieving the goal of a world free of drug abuse, the United Nations General Assembly in December 1987 decided to mark 26th of June as the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. The theme for 2021 is Share Drug Facts to Save Lives. Related initiatives are Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs 1961, the Convention on Psychotropic Substances 1971, and the UN Convention Against Illicit Trafficking in Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances 1988. India is a signatory to all three and has enacted the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances, that is NDPS Act 1985. Indian initiatives. Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan or Drugs Free India campaign. It was flagged off on 15th of August 2020 across 272 districts of the country. Its focal points are preventive, mass education and sensitization, capacity building of service providers, positive partnership with education institutes and augmentation of treatment, rehabilitation and counseling facilities. National Action Plan for Drug Demand Reduction for 2018 to 2025, it aims at reduction of adverse consequences of drug abuse through a multi-pronged strategy involving education, de-addiction, rehabilitation of affected individuals and their families. It focuses on preventive education, awareness generation, identification, counseling, treatment and rehabilitation of drug-dependent persons, and training and capacity building of the service providers through collaborative efforts of the central and state governments and non-governmental organizations. Thank you.